What's going on, man? How you doing?
Great, man. How are you?
Good, good. Just a little bit of an update. I don't even think I'm really here for advice unless you want to throw something at me. But
All right.
just kind of, I'll give a little bit of a background, then we'll kind of jump into what I think the conclusion is, and I think you'll be pretty proud, pretty happy.
All right. All right.
So over the last, I guess it's been a couple weeks, there was a little bit more conflict, the same type of conflict we've been having. I'm not going to give another backstory on all that. If you were here, whatever. And the most recent one was we've been watching a TV show together, and it's like a little murder mystery vibe type thing. And at the beginning of the show, we were like, hey, let's not look this up. Let's kind of figure this out together. Let's have a good time, whatever. Cool. So about a month goes by, and we have an open phone policy. I'm using her phone to Google something because we're going out for the night, and I had to figure out transit and all that stuff because we were drinking. And I seen she Googled it. So I was like, whatever, I'm going to leave it. I was more so pissed off that it spoiled it for me. I was like, damn, now I know. So then we're laying in bed. I bought like a projector so we can project it on our, we don't have a TV in the room. So I bought a projector so we can watch it. And the killer came up before you find out who he is. And I just made a joke about it. I was like, hey, it's kind of funny. That's the killer, eh? And then she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I seen you Googled it. I was like, I'm more so just a little bit upset that you Googled it after we had the agreement not to, and that it was spoiled for me. And she got so defensive. She was like, well, I'm not going to ask you what to Google and this and that, and I forgot. And she just blew up on me. And I was like, whoa. I was like, whoa. I was like, honestly, I didn't even really care about it until now. I'm like, now I'm a little bit flustered because you're being so defensive about it. And I just was like, just bringing it up. I was like, I just wanted a little bit of accountability. I was like, what's going on here? So she got super frustrated, and she was like, you're ridiculous. Your boundaries are ridiculous. You think you're so like fucking healed now because you're talking to people. Like you're going, like I'm going to therapy weekly now because you're going to therapy and all this other stuff. And then she just kept saying like, that's what you're saying is so stupid. What you're saying is ridiculous. And I was just like, I just stopped. I was like, okay, I'm done explaining myself in my head. And I was like, nope, it's not ridiculous. I was like, my needs aren't ridiculous, actually. And then she didn't say anything. She just rolled over. I'm always the one, as you know, I'm always the one to reach out. I'm always the one to do whatever. I didn't reach out this time. And throughout the day, we kind of chatted a little bit. I was just like, hey, like we kind of connected a little bit about it. I was like, hey, I want you to know, like, I don't care what you Google. It's the fact that you said we wouldn't do it and then you did it. And I found out through your phone just by like looking at your phone, and then it spoiled it for me. I was like, it's just like the connection piece. Like, we could have been involved in this together. I was like, no big deal, though. Like, I just want you to know. So she didn't say nothing to me. She's miserable all day. We live together. And she was like, hey, can we go for a drive? I was going to talk. I was like, okay, cool. You know what? This is a first for her. That's no problem. So I was like, no problem. So we went out for a little bit of a drive, and I was like, hey, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? And she was like, you can go first. I was like, okay. So she instantly, like, crossed her arms and started looking out the window. And I was like, I basically just said, like, how I felt. I was like, yeah, over the last little bit, I feel like I'm not really being, like, and there's no sort of respect. Anytime my needs come up, you always forget. Like, it's something where I just feel like it's a situation where you always belittle me, you talk down to me in conflict. I'm just trying to take a step back here so we can actually examine both sides and both feel great about it instantly. It was about an hour and a half drive. My part was probably 10, 15 minutes. And even at the end of my part, I was like, hey, I understand, like, you're hurt as well. I want to acknowledge your hurt. I'm sorry for the way that I treated you and how I just kind of put that on you and just put that onus on you of the show situation. And instantly she just blew up into everything that I did wrong and all the ways that I'm wrong and all the ways that everything's bad and how I'm just like manipulating the situation. And she's talking about things like during this conflict, she's like talking about things that I do that she's actually doing. Like, I don't do none of this stuff. She's literally saying things verbatim that she does that she says I do. And I'm like, whoa. I was like, and I'll even say, I'll be like, okay, can you like expand on that? What do you mean by that? Because I don't want to do that to you. And she can't say anything. She's like, oh, just never mind. So I'm like, okay, I get it. So it's basically at a point now where I'm, honestly just going to end up having a conversation with her and being like, hey, we're both miserable. I don't know. I think we both need to take time to figure out what we want. We need to reconnect in like the next day or two and figure this out, and see if there's actually any change.
Okay. What was the issue again? You said that she got on Google while watching the show?
Oh, no. So we started watching this show about a month ago, and it's like kind of a murder mystery, so you got to like watch the show, figure out who the killer is. And she came to me, and she was like, hey, let's watch the show together. Let's try to figure out who the killer is. Like, have fun. Let's not spoil the show. Let's not Google it. Let's not do none of that. I'm like, great, that's no problem. So then it was probably like 3 or 4 days ago. My phone was upstairs, so I was like, hey, can I use your phone? I have to Google something for tonight because we were going out. So she was like, yeah, no problem. And as soon as I pulled up Google, everything about the show was there, who the killer was, everything like that. So I left it alone. I was like, honestly, we're going out tonight. I don't even, like, it is what it is. And then I brought it up in like kind of a playful way later. And I was like, hey, just wanted you to know, like, this kind of sucked, but like, it is what it is. And she just absolutely flipped a gasket.
Gotcha. Okay. You have a question about the situation?
No, I think I'm just no question. I think it was just kind of an update to let you know based on everything we've talked about and where I'm at. I think it's just at a point where, like, these smaller conflicts, it's almost like, is it a big problem or a little problem? And to me, that's not even a big problem, but it turned into a big problem. And that's what all these conflicts are. It's just big problems now. So I think it's just at a point where I haven't extended myself out to her first. I haven't been the one to apologize first anymore. I haven't been the one to come back to her and show that love right away and first. And she honestly just cannot handle that. And she's just getting mad about everything, barely talking about anything. So I think it's just at a point where it is that situation where I'm just going to let her know, hey, like, I just don't think this is going to work.
Gotcha. I think the people in the chat don't have the full context of your situation. So
I ain't even reading chat. They don't know about before. They don't know about our coaching calls. They don't know about none of that. I'm going to talk to you.
Yeah. Good job. Good on you.
They don't know about the trials and tribulations.
Y'all have no idea. I'm with y'all as far as, like, this is seemingly a small issue, so you're accurate there. But this is like what he goes through in this relationship is like an extreme situation.
This is a nail in the coffin. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. This is not a slaw.
Like, their relationship has like a lot of conflict. Even him going to therapy or getting coaching, she throws shots at him for doing so, because him working on himself reveals how little she's working on herself. So she holds some resentment towards that. But it's a stream. Last time Twitch called in, I told him, or Goose called in, I told him to leave.
Yep.
This is not something to stay in. So
Yep.
if you want to keep having these conflicts, which you will have, stay in the relationship, I guess. But your solution in this situation is just to leave. You're doing yourself a disservice by staying. This isn't something you're just going to have more conversations about. This is just something to ultimately leave. This is not something to take a break from. This is something to fundamentally leave.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate that. I guess you kind of did it. I was like, am I doing the right thing by the break thing? But yeah, I agree.
How does that solve the problem? The problem is the person you're with. You're taking ownership of your stuff because you're going to therapy. Me and you've had coaching calls, so like you're doing your part in terms of growing, but she's not doing her part. And then worse than that, she's trying to bring you back down to your level. The whole break thing is a nonsense. That's something that I'm firm on. If you got to take a break, just break up.
Yeah, and I agree with that. The only reason, so I was in there, it was actually funny. I had a session a couple days before, and then I had one today, so the day after the conflict. And I was just talking to her about, and I'll make this quick. I know you got other people who have real questions, but I was just talking to her about what's going on, and obviously then, like, she's not going to diagnose or anything, but she was like, it sounds like she has destructive narcissistic traits. And she said a lot of the times with that, they need something that shows there's a firm boundary of, hey, here's what's happening. like we need time apart for them to be able to kind of have their eyes open and see what the person's actually worth to them. So that's kind of what changed my mind a little bit, but because I was on the whole, this shit just got to end too. So that's kind of where that came from.
Your therapist told you to take a break?
Yeah, well, she said when you present it to her, she basically said if you present this to her and it's not something that you want to cut full ties with because you think there is a shot, then you need to present it as like, this is a time to take time apart. So maybe her eyes could be, like my partner's eyes could be open to actually see what she's missing in the time away, but know she has something in the door to come back. Because a lot of the times with those traits and the way she is, like she will want to come back. That is what I heard.
No. That's not a sustainable solution, man. Yeah, even if she does be like, oh, I do want him, she may change short term, and then she just will default back to what she's used to doing. That's not a sustainable solution. So I'm sure your therapist is giving you some good advice in other domains, but she has completely missed the mark on this one. You just got to go ahead and leave this situation. Y'all aren't compatible.
Yeah. No, we always ended on the same note. I agree. I appreciate you, and yeah, I just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of an update.
I appreciate it, brother. Well, keep me posted now, all right?
Yeah.
All right, brother. You take care. Is the therapist fine? Why is that important, Isaac? They changed for a few weeks, then returned to their shenanigans. Right. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
I can. How are you?
I'm fine, you?
Good. What can I do for you? Mods. There we go. My man, CJ's on it. That's how you know that's a matchmaking person. You ask them, what can I do for you? They're like, where's my husband? Scram. Never return. Who we got next? Who do we have next? What's up, GG? All right, people, this is a dating and relationship Q&A. If you have any questions pertaining to dating and relationships, you can hit the button at the bottom of the screen with the blue and pink person. What's up, Umni? Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. What about you?
Okay, what can I do for you? All right. I guess CJ also doesn't like accents. How you know she didn't have a question, CJ? I know she said hello. I know she said that, but she could have. Sometimes they do actually have questions. Love, if you have a question, put it in the chat just so we can make sure you actually have a question. And where's my husband does not count as a question. Just so you know. Just so you know. Again, people, if you have a question pertaining to dating and relationships, you want some clarity on your situation, and you want to know what to do, you can hit the button at the bottom of the screen with the blue and pink person. I'll bring you up, all right? Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks.
Good.
So my question is, what happened to the men chasing the women? Why have men become such princesses in the dating world, and why do we have to be the masculine ones?
Okay.
You're a man. Tell me that, please.
So when you say chasing the woman, what do you mean? What do you feel
Well,
like has
because
shifted?
they're supposed to be the ones that approach us, but they've gotten so comfortable in how they say there's 5 women to each man. Mm-hmm. They're taking advantage of that. Right. And so now women feel like they have to compete for someone, and the man starts getting that princess feeling, Okay. That's what I'm seeing out there in the dating world. Why is that? Do you think we had something to do with it? Or is it maybe their upbringing, or I don't know?
I mean, it's complicated. There's no one singular answer. But, there's multiple factors, right? Is part of it is a lot of women want pure equality, we're treated the exact same as men, without considering that, okay, well then that negates gender roles entirely.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay, I get you
when you
there.
say like that's your role, it's like, okay, well, if that's, there are no roles anymore, right? Now I believe there should be, because I believe in polarity, right? I believe that men
Hmm.
and women are fundamentally different and they contribute in unique ways
Yes, I
to the
agree.
situation. But that's been lost upon our society. But then there's also a factor where it's just easier to connect due to technology. So imagine,
Mm.
for a man to approach a woman, that requires a bit of courage, right? And she may
Yes.
turn him down. Before, you had to. There was no other way around it, unless you had like arranged
Hmm.
marriages or something like that. But now, you can hop on a dating app. You don't have to deal with the pain of rejection, right? You don't have to deal with the embarrassment of you approaching a man approach you in like a public setting. You turn him down, and people are like watching this play out. He don't have to deal with that. He can just hop on a dating app or hop on social media and connect with people that way. And
Which also, go ahead.
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead. What are you about to say?
Which takes away from the intellectual conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Men cannot communicate well anymore. I love a good, stimulating conversation, and they don't have it. So then
Well, that's
I
on
have to
both.
carry the conversation.
Right. That's on both ends. How old are you, by the way?
58.
Yeah. So like that's on both ends, especially with like the younger crowd, because it's these phones, right? Like you develop the ability to have an intellectually stimulating conversation, to your point, by putting in the reps, by having those conversations. But a lot of people aren't
Yes.
having conversations at all. You go out in public, people have headphones in, right? They're not really interacting. Third spaces are disappearing. People don't really have community anymore, so they're not really getting those reps to even have
Very
practice
true.
having those conversations in the first place. So, and then with the whole digital aspect of things, it's like it's not really necessary. A lot of people are kind of like, what we see what's happening on dating apps is starting to it's starting to work its way into the real world, where people are prioritizing looks more than ever. That used to be
So true.
something that was like dating apps were like their own world, where like looks were prioritized because there was nothing else to see from like a profile
Hmm.
perspective, right? And
Hmm.
that's kind of conditioning people to take that same mentality and apply it to real world connections. So now people are prioritizing looks even more. So it's a very convoluted thing. On this live, I tend to tell men to lean into approaching women, not necessarily for the woman herself, but more so, one, it gives you a competitive advantage because most men aren't doing it, right?
Exactly.
And then two, you build, like, my approach to advising both men and women is not just to get the outcome you're looking for, it is to become a better and more integrated person in the process. So a man who is approaching a woman is doing a courageous act, and that courage that is cultivated through that process can be applied to multiple domains, right? So that's my message. I tell people to
Okay.
meet organically all the time, but to your point, it is can be incredibly annoying. Now, there's always going to be men who do it, but the thing is, a lot of the guys who approach in public, it a large percentage of them just like are dogs. It's like you
I was gonna
filter,
say Dusties. They be Dusties.
right?
Okay.
You filter
And
for the guys who like the most of the guys who are approaching are just guys who approach like crazy. You know what I mean? Like, just they just do a lot of it. It's not like the guy who don't really approach like that, but he saw you, you stood out so much that he decided to go approach you. It's not that. It's the guy who just left Target, got three or four numbers, then went to the mall, got three or four numbers.
yeah,
Like, it's that
looking
guy
for
who's doing the
prey.
approaching.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. My problem, so to end my conversation, my questions, is that I'm very approachable and
Okay.
I make eye contact, not in a long way, but just to give them, hey, I'm open to coffee. I worked in the government for over 22 years,
Okay.
and not one person ever asked me out for coffee. And I've
Mm.
been single, and I'm just like, why has it got to be so hard? And I don't want to go online because you can be somebody that you really aren't online. And
Right,
so I
right.
like the old fashioned way of approaching a woman.
So what the shift that you have to make on both ends, a bit more intention. Like, you have to make up for the society change with intentionality and investment of energy. So what I mean by that is You used to could just go to, like I said, Target, the grocery store. Maybe somebody approaches you there, right? It's not going to happen so much nowadays. Now you have to be more intentional about the environment that you put yourself in. So I have this framework called static versus dynamic environments. Those are two ways to meet people organically. So dynamic environments are environments where every time you go, there are different people there. It's not bad, but it's not the best approach. Why? Because there's different people every time you go, which means if somebody is to approach you, they have to approach you right then or risk never seeing you again. And
I
if,
have that problem, exact problem.
right.
For
So
sure.
if a guy is maybe kind of nervous to approach you and you're in a dynamic environment, he just misses out on that opportunity. Now, static environments are the complete opposite. They're environments where every time you go, you see the same people there over and over and over again. Now, here's the benefit of that. It creates more of a community. So maybe that same guy who didn't want to approach you because he was nervous, maybe after seeing you 3 or 4 days in a row or 3 or 4 weeks in a row, he musters up the courage to go ahead and do so. Maybe he assumes you're not approachable when he first sees you. Maybe your looks are intimidating to him. But then in a community type of atmosphere, he hears you talking to someone or sees you engaging someone and he sees that you are approachable, and then he approaches you then. It increases your options, but there's also multiple other benefits. Static environments also filter for a particular trait. So for example, there was a woman I talked to she was really into professional development and she wanted a man who was a bit more ambitious. So I asked her if she ever heard of the organization called Toastmasters, which is an organization that teaches people how to publicly speak.
Yes, I'm a member. I do know about Toastmasters.
Nice. So I told her, like, men who are in that environment are likely going to be more ambitious. The environment itself filters for that trait. And then even if she was not to find one, she still has professionally developed herself. So there's a win regardless, right? So you have to think about that and put yourself in those type of environments. Because another benefit of static environments is there's a reputational aspect. Dating apps don't offer that. Dynamic environments don't offer that. But if you're in a static environment, aka a community, people tend to know one another. So if there's a man who approaches you and maybe you're feeling him and he gives you his number, or you give him your number, you may have a woman pull you aside and inform you that he hits on everybody there. So now you just save time, right? So it's the better approach. So a practice that I give a lot of women who I coach, because I coach both men and women, is to draw 2 concentric circles that intersect. One side, you list out your values and interests. The other side, you list out the qualities of the type of man that you would like. In the middle, where they intersect, you list out static environments that select for traits on both sides. And you just start putting yourself in those environments.
Oh, I like that. Thank you. I appreciate this conversation. I'm going to follow you.
All right, love.
You have a wonderful day.
You do the same. You take care.
Gotta go to work now.
Right,
Bye-bye.
bye. I know I gotta have like a recording of that whole speech because I have to say it like twice per live.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm okay. And yourself?
I'm great.
I finally had the nerve to call in.
Finally came
I have
up.
a question for you.
What's going on?
I've been dating somebody. We went out one time, and I don't know, I'm older, but I guess I'm a little old-fashioned in my thinking. He wanted to have sexual relations with me already, and to me, that's a red flag.
Okay.
That doesn't cut well with me. And also,
Right.
my birthday passed about 2 weeks ago. He did go away to another country. He didn't even call to wish me a happy birthday. So,
Oh wow.
to be honest with you, I am kind of wanting to walk away from this. I'm sorry I'm talking kind of fast because I'm
You're good.
actually on my lunch hour.
You're good.
He didn't even call to say how I was doing. So I just kind of think I want to walk away from this because I feel that I could do better.
Okay. Okay. So what's your question about this situation?
Well, I mean, do you think I should give him the benefit of the doubt? Because his sister did get married in another country, in the Dominican Republic, and he did try to set a date with me prior to him going, but I couldn't go because I had another function. So am I being too hard on him, or should I just give him a chance?
Okay. So
I just don't know what to do.
how did you meet him again?
I met him at work.
Okay. So how long have you known him?
We only went out for one date already.
You went out
One
for
date.
one date.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. And how has he tried to have sexual relations with you? What did that look like?
Well, he told me, to be honest with you, he told me pretty much that he wants to have sexual relations with me. So
Did he use that verbiage? Did he say, I would like to have sexual relations with
well,
you?
he didn't say it like that, but he was trying to persuade me. And I'm not comfortable with that because I don't even know this man's last name.
How did he try to persuade you?
I didn't hear you.
How did he try to persuade you?
Well, he called me at work and gave me all the reasons why I should sleep with him. So, it just wasn't good. I felt like he kind of turned me off because he didn't even get to know me. It was just like, okay, I find you attractive, and yeah.
That's hilarious. Nicole, something just came up across my desk. I need you to see this. You should sleep with me. Here's the reasons. Trying to give you a sales pitch on sleeping with him is crazy. Okay, so how old are you two?
He's in his 50s and I'm 52. I'm older, but you know what it is with me too? I'm old school and there's a lot of diseases out there. That's not the way how I roll. I consider myself a very classy, old-fashioned woman, and I know other people do, but that's not me.
With his approach, I doubt he has one. Doesn't sound like he gets laid often. So, okay. No, I wouldn't continue dealing with this person. Considering that he's in his 50s and this is how he's moving. Like, if he just tried to sleep with you, I would be like, okay, just have your boundaries and let him know. And then observe his behavior after that, right? Because, I mean, men are going to want to sleep with you. It's the way they go about it, which can be a red flag.
Yes, and that's what I saw, to be honest with you. I kind of saw this as a red flag because I don't even know his last name. Like, that's not how I roll. Like, I'm a very mature, older woman, and I don't do things that way. I like to get to know people. That's how I roll. But, the new generation is different. I consider myself a very classy type of woman. I don't do things like that. Right. And I was married, and I guess for me it's a little harder in the game because I've been married and I'm going into dating again. So it's been difficult. But I'm just going to take my time because I'm definitely not ready to sleep with him. And I'm not giving my cookies up to somebody that I just met out there. There's diseases out there. And I'm just not doing that.
Right. Well, I'm with you. But yeah, I say go ahead and move on from this person. For sure.
Wow. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your help. I appreciate it. I got to go back to work.
Okay. Get
Have a great day.
You take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Gal Pacino, you're hilarious. Said cold calling for coochie is crazy. Yes. That's outrageous, bro. That is outrageous. He's also kind of cowardly too, because he didn't try on the first date, but he wanted to on the first date. And then he called her while at work. He didn't think about that at all, but he was super horny. Super duper horny. You can't handle your horniness at 52. There ain't no hope for you. There's no hope for you. All right. What we got next? Yo.
Hello.
How you doing?
Yeah, so I was wondering if you could help me sort of understand how to handle, I guess, attachment styles, because I've noticed I'm either one or the other, and I don't know how to just be a secure one.
Okay.
So I was in a long-term relationship, and it ended up really bad. And I think I had my guard up like way too high, to the point where the next guy I was talking to kind of called me out on being avoidant. And he ended up ghosting me, and I kind of deserved it. And then the next one had kind of told me I was too clingy. Or not told me, but kind of indicated it. And that was me trying to overcorrect for the last person I was talking to. So I guess I'm just trying to figure out what an appropriate response is to, like, the feedback I'm getting. Because it's either I try to fix it and I overcorrect, or, so.
Okay. So that first relationship. How old are you, by the way?
I'm 24. I know I sound young.
Okay, 24. All right, so that first relationship you're telling me about, how long were you in that one?
It was almost a year.
Almost a year. Why did that one end?
To be honest, I think it was just, so we met in high school, and I think it was just for him, like, always wanting to be with me and me always rejecting him. And I think it was just it was one of those things that, like, you're like, I'm gonna get her one day, and then when he did, he didn't really do much to keep me, you know?
Okay. Why'd you keep rejecting him?
I think when we were kids, I just saw him as a friend.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then obviously we look different now, but
And when you said
yeah.
he didn't do much to keep you, what was he lacking?
I would say probably reassuring me. I think there wasn't enough reassurance. It was also long distance.
Okay. What did you need to be reassured about?
Just that I don't do well with long distance.
Okay.
And so I feel like I need a really reassuring person to even think about doing that again.
Okay. All right. So then, how long were you single before the next guy?
Before I started talking to the one I was being very avoidant with, that took, I think, 4 or 5 months.
Okay, so you were single for 4 or 5 months, and then you met the next guy.
Yeah.
And how long were you with him?
We had only talked for a month before I started putting my walls up too high for him to even get to know me properly.
Okay. In what way did you put your walls up?
I was trying my best not to, like, make plans to meet up. I felt like if I were to meet up, I would probably catch feelings or some kind of attachment would start happening, and that kind of scared me. So, and he got the hint that I wasn't trying to meet up with him.
So when he made plans, you would make it difficult?
Yeah. Yeah, I was just trying to avoid him, but I did like getting to know him, if that makes sense. I was trying to move on from the previous person, but I just found that the thought of being in another relationship kind of scared me.
Okay. So move on from the previous person. Did you end the previous relationship?
Sorry?
Did you end the relationship before the one we're talking about, like the first relationship?
It was kind of mutual.
Okay. Did that like hurt you to end that?
It did. It was very hurtful. Yeah, I think it was also my first heartbreak, so.
Okay. So then you got with the next guy, and you were avoiding me.
Yeah, he just kept letting me know, like, you're not really trying to take this serious.
Gotcha.
And I knew.
Gotcha. Okay. And then how long were you single before the most recent guy?
That was just, I would say, maybe like 3 or 4 weeks, maybe a month.
Okay.
And I was trying my best to, like, correct myself and, like, show that I was ready. But I guess that came across as clingy.
In what way do you think it came across as clingy?
I was actually trying to make plans to see the person, like, right away. So I was trying to push them to see how the vibe would be in person. And I feel like they didn't like that. They were taking longer and longer to respond back to me.
Okay.
After trying to make plans.
Okay. How did you meet that person?
That was through a mutual friend. It was through social media, but they let me know that they'd see me in person at this person's party.
And you were trying to meet up before that?
They saw me from the party, but I did not meet up with them, if that makes sense.
Did y'all have any dates at all?
No.
How long did you talk to that person?
I would say it's been a few days now. This hasn't really ended, so this is, like, currently going on.
Okay.
And I don't want to come across as clingy, but I think I'm overcorrecting for the last person.
Right.
So I just don't know how to find, like, a medium without coming across as either avoidant or anxious.
Okay. Okay. So he's still responding. Have y'all actually met in person yet?
No, but the responses, like I said, they're very spread out. Whereas before, when we're initially getting to know each other, it was like every other day.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
when I had made plans to like come to my city or whatever, I noticed it would take like 2 or 3 days
Okay.
to respond.
I got you. All right. Let me pause real quick. Chat, with the exception of Danny. Danny, I don't need an answer from you. Chat, what do y'all think is going on here? I have your answer. I just want, this is an educational space. So give me a second. Let me see what the chat comes up with. Okay. Okay.
Maybe
okay,
fearful, avoidant. I don't know.
Okay. No, I got
That
your
might be
answer.
right.
I got your answer. I just want to see what the chat comes up with. Because all my people who've been watching for a while, they should know the answer to this question. Okay. Okay. And a few more of y'all to respond before I actually solve this for her. Okay. We're getting some slow responses. You're not avoidant, you're anxious. You're not fearful avoidant. The motivation behind what you're doing will reveal your attachment style. A person with any kind of avoidant attachment, even a fearful avoidant, when they behave avoidant, the motivation is attached to the avoidant fear, which is losing their independence. Okay, losing their independence, having expectations being placed upon them. That wasn't what was motivating you in the second relationship. What was motivating you in the second relationship was not getting hurt, because the first relationship hurt you. So in the first relationship, you were anxious, and that had to end because you were not getting reassurance. So then you corrected your behavior from your perspective. Well, not even corrected your behavior. You weren't fully healed from the previous relationship. You wanted someone to regulate you and make you feel better, so you started talking to the second guy, but you feared that if you continue talking to the second guy, you will become too attached. And if you become too attached and things go south, that would hurt you again. That's still related to anxious attachment. Anxious people can move like avoidant people. It doesn't make them fearful avoidant. It's just anxious people can also create distance. Anxious people can also disappear. Anxious people can also avoid opening up. It's just the underlying motivation which is different. In your case, it was a fear of getting hurt. The avoidant person does not have the fear of getting hurt. Not saying they can't have that fear, but it's more so the fear of letting the person down or losing their freedom, right? So in the third connection, you took the data from the second connection and applied it here, which was, okay, I don't want to seem like I'm avoidant, so let me show a lot of interest. So the solution is to just be your natural self in these connections. It's one, to heal so that you don't have that fear of getting attached. So that may require you to have some time of solitude, right? So you're not trying to get into a relationship just to either have someone or to forget about a previous person. You should, embrace the season of solitude so you can develop a bit of comfortability around being alone, which is good for all people who are anxiously attached. It helps you build capacity. And then give the man space to actually pursue you a little bit. That doesn't mean that you can't show interest, but don't make it more difficult. Like you said, you overcorrected. In the second scenario, all you had to do was meet up. There wasn't anything extra you had to do. But you started pursuing in this most recent connection. You don't need to do that. Let him set the logistics up. Let him set up the date. Let him do a good portion of the initiation. And then that effectively solves the problem. It doesn't solve your anxious attachment problem, but it does solve this overcorrection problem.
Yeah, well, yeah, that makes sense. I think like that time between the relationship in the first stalking stage or the second person, that time was definitely my solitude, time that you were speaking about, because it was like 4 or 5 months of just me.
Okay.
So yeah, do you think that I can correct that if that first impression is already coming across as
I mean,
anxious
time
or
will
clingy?
tell, but that will require you to stop initiating and stop trying to see him. Let him do that.
Yeah,
you just make
I've
it.
definitely let go. I
Okay.
just don't know if the first impression is too strong
might
for
be.
that to.
It might be. Time will tell. So it's only been a few days since like you pulled back a little bit, but time will tell. Don't wait around forever though. I give this another week max. If he doesn't try to make something shake another week, I would just move on.
I see. Well, thanks for that. That's definitely a lot of clarity there.
No problem, dear.
Right.
Best luck to you. All right.
Me too.
All right. Bye. Can you believe most people don't? That whole thing we just said about anxious attachment operating like avoidance, no one talks about that for some reason. And that's what you see a lot in the dating market right now. What you're seeing a lot in the dating market is anxious people taking on the behavior traits of avoidant people to avoid getting hurt. So then they become mislabeled as fearful avoidance. The way that you can tell the difference between like an anxious person who's behaving like an avoidant from an actual fearful avoidant is a fearful avoidant has always acted like a fearful avoidant. An anxious person starts to behave like a fearful avoidant after they go through some painful experience and they change their behavior. It's a stage 2 person. Remember, there's 4 stages. Stage 2 person gets hurt and then they adjust their behavior after being hurt. I haven't gone over this 4 stages in a while. I might do that this live, but all right. Let's see what Louis has to say.
What's going on, man?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Doing well, man. It's been 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks. I don't remember what we talked about.
I was the one that was talking about the PWA area where it was tough to get stuff around the area.
Oh yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
What's the update,
But
bro?
I did what you said, though. I increased the mileage to I did 45, but that was a little bit too far. I did 35, but it's been working lately. I'm not gonna lie, you was on point with that.
My man.
It got a little bit way better. I was in a drought, but now it's a little bit better. So the other question I have is now approaching. So I usually, go out by myself sometimes in the area, and then, I go to the beach a lot, but if I don't drink, it's I don't get no courage. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, yeah. I think that's the next thing I need help with. I be in the gym, I be feeling like I get, some looks here and there and all that, but it's just I don't know how to really, get it done.
How to approach when you're out on the beach and whatnot?
Yeah, because, as I said before, it's not some, they don't look like they're into, my type, who I am, you know what I'm saying? As I said, it's a PWA, so I don't know if they're into that. So,
okay.
I know one guy I was talking to in the bar, he was like, yeah, this area is either you got to have some type of money or, they don't really, go that way sometimes.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't think that's true. Not true for everybody. There may be an overrepresentation of people who have that disposition, but there's always people there. So you're essentially having a spark problem, right? So, it's 2 sides of attraction, spark and safety. Safety is essentially what will make a woman stay and feel safe in the connection. Spark essentially gets their attention and maintains it.
Right.
And you always want to lead with spark. So, how do you typically approach women?
I'll come up and say, hey, excuse me, either does your outfit look good or I just want to come say something because I might not ever see you again. So, what's your name? How you doing? Stuff like that. Where you from?
Okay.
Or let's say I'm on the beach walking and I see someone, looking at the seashells because there's a lot of shark tooth. That's a thing they collect. So I'll be like, hey, did you find any shark teeth today yet? Stuff like that,
Right.
Yeah. And then at the bar, I don't really do much because if I'm by myself, it's kind of tough because it's everybody's in a group,
Right.
Especially up here.
Where do you prefer to approach?
I mean, when I'm out, that's like, I feel like that's the only time, because after everything else, it be seeming like it's a little bit weird to approach them somewhere else sometimes. Like, I don't know, I just don't get the vibe like they want to be talked to.
When you say when you're out, like when you're out where?
Let's say grocery store, at the gym, mostly the beach, especially because, you know, I see girls that look good on the beach, but they're either tanning or they're with a friend. And then most of the time I'm by myself just walking up and down, you know, sand and shit. So it'd be like, yeah.
Okay. If you had to pick one of those environments, which one would you pick?
I know that I can, you know, get a number for sure.
Not that you know, just where you feel like it may be easiest for you.
Going out for sure. Because, you know,
Going
they
out.
already know, like,
Going out
like
there.
a girl already knows they look good, so guys are going to approach.
So like nightlife.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So you're going out at nighttime.
Yeah, you know, go to the bars. There's a couple of dive bars in the area too, so it's like, you know.
Okay. All right. So how do you typically approach in those environments?
That, yeah. Be the same thing, like, oh, hey, you look nice, I like your outfit, or like, hey, you got nice eyes, or like, or I might do something like that has to do with what's going on in the moment, like hey, you notice, like, you like this song, or how you feel like the DJ doing tonight, is he playing your type of vibe, stuff like that, you know. Like, once I'm drinking, you know, it's kind of a little bit easier because I get, you know, liquid courage and everything, but
Right.
yeah.
What is your ultimate goal? Like a relationship, or are you just trying to connect with people?
See, if the relationship comes, then it comes. But I'm not gonna be like, I need a life partner right now, you know, because you have to go through seasons with a person, because you don't.
I got you. I got you. All right. So in a nightclub environment, right, or a bar, you don't want to. Don't try to win a particular woman. Try to win the venue.
Right.
So here's the play. Women are going to clock you the moment you come in.
Yeah.
Usually. And what they're doing is they're making snap judgments on who you are. Right?
Right.
And if you deserve any kind of attention, to be frank. So the way you play it is your goal is just to walk around and spread positive vibes. That's it.
Even if I'm by myself, though, most of the time, how I, you know,
Yes.
that's the hard part.
Because here's the thing. You go up to one woman and she turns you down. Now you're the guy who gets turned down.
Exactly. That's why it's hard to do it by yourself, because, like, you know, girls are looking, and you know, I'm taller, so it's like I know they see me come up to a girl, talk to her, and then if she turn me down, then it's like I go to another girl. It's like they see that, they like, damn, he.
Exactly. It's a chain reaction. So you have to use that to your. You got to flip it. So right now, the only way you can win is if that one girl you approach is going. But she could have a boyfriend. She could not be into your looks. All types of things that can happen. So you got to switch your approach. You just go and you spread positive vibes. You say something to people as you walk past them.
Okay.
If they're at like a 6 out of 10 when it comes to having a good time, your goal is to bring them to a 7 or 8 out of 10 to having a good time. So you're just there helping other people have a good time, right?
Okay.
So you're just spreading positive vibes. You're being funny. If you're in the group, how y'all know each other? Or you're like the mom of the group. I can tell you the mom of the group, right?
Okay,
You're doing that kind of shit, but you're not really asking for anything. You're just giving value. As you're doing that, people are clocking it. So instead of them observing you talk to one woman and you get shot down, they're observing you talk to a number of people, and then their mood elevating because of your presence. Now, in that environment, you're elevating in status. You're becoming the guy to know. And they see that you're not here trying to take value from anyone. You're here just giving value, which means when you do talk to someone you're interested in, they're more open to your advances. Because they just saw that you weren't going trying to extract like numbers or anything from people. You're just saying something real quick and then you're moving on. Or you're having a pleasant conversation and moving on. Any person that you talk to, you can circle back to later on in the evening.
So another question is, like, I've been noticing too, if I like wear a darker clothing, like let's say I wear all black or something, or like this dark clothes, it's like people assume I'm security. do I just have to like wear lighter clothes, like lighter colors when I'm out? Because I know I've heard that like girls.
You can
usually
use
like
that.
guys
You can use
wear
that to your
dark colors.
advantage. That could be the way that you talk to people.
Okay.
You can joke about how you're security, and then have a laugh that you're not security, and then just tell me like everybody always thinks I'm security when I'm here. Also, one thing that you're doing a lot is you're putting too much emphasis on her experience. That don't mean that you can't ask women questions, but you just can talk about that, like that whole security thing. Nobody asked you that question.
Right.
You're just saying that, and then that could facilitate a better conversation. And you can be like, but since people think I'm secure, you got any problems? You let me know.
Yeah.
If you gonna have a problem, that dude in the corner, you have a problem with him.
Okay.
You have a problem with him. So when he comes over, you just let me know, and I got you, right? Oh, thank you. Right, and then you just move on, and you talk to someone else, and you move on. You talk to some dudes too. Don't ignore the guys. Win them over. Introduce them to women. Right?
Yeah, because people come up to me sometimes. They just like talk to me, and I talk back and stuff like that. I be just chilling sometimes, but I think it's just because like if I'm on a drink, it's kind of hard for me to like be out because I'm like, all right, I'm kind of bored, or like if the music's good, then I can chill. I'll watch somebody play pool or something like that.
Right, and that's because you're not engaging. That's all this is. You're not engaging. But like, I don't even really do night game like that because I ain't really into short-term dynamics. But when I've shown clients how to, I'm taking a client out one time, showed them how it worked. And I would talk to people on the way to the venue because your social skills, it's a social muscle. And like you're going to a gym, you don't want to bench 315 unless you're warmed up.
Yeah.
So you got to warm up your social muscle. So let's say you take an Uber to the bar or something like that. Talk to the Uber driver.
Okay.
You've had this experience before. You probably like went out, talked to one person, and it was kind of like stifled. It didn't really flow. But then when you talk to the next person, it flowed more, right? Because that first conversation warmed you up.
Okay.
And the more pleasant conversations you have, the more dopamine is released, the more good you feel, and the more access to your mental faculties you have. In other words, once you have a pleasant conversation, you free yourself up because you're not in like a fearful state. Like your mind is always trying to think, do I belong here or not? And before it has clarity on whether or not you belong, it doesn't really free all of your wittiness and your sense of humor because it doesn't feel safe in that environment. The moment you have a pleasant conversation, something clicks and it's like, I belong here. I'm safe here. And once you feel safe in the situation, now your wittiness comes out, your sense of humor comes out, all that stuff comes out. So the goal is to have a pleasant conversation with someone, even if it's short. I really hope that landed because that's a very like specific thing that you can use strategically. That's why I would talk to the Uber driver on the way to the venue. That's why when people were walking past me, I would give them compliments because as I caused a positive reaction on their end, that safetyness clicked. And now I can really be my authentic, witty, charismatic self because now I feel safe in the environment.
Yeah, I gotta get, as you said, just probably talk more because when I be going to these places, like it's just like as I said, it's like I'm the only one. So it's like,
which makes all this more important because you don't feel safe in the environment. You're using alcohol to cause the same switch that you can cause naturally.
Yeah.
Because the alcohol is what it's what shuts that am I safe thing off. But that puts you in a position to where like you'll enter in the environment and then you can't talk to anyone until you get the drinks. But here's what I told you at the beginning. Women are clocking you the moment you walk in.
Yeah.
So you need to be on that type of timing the moment you walk in. That doesn't mean you can't get a drink, but I'm telling you, the moment you talk to somebody, you'll activate that mechanism and that will free you and embolden you to talk to more people. That was such a good fucking explanation. Let me just pause on that for a second. Because that's going to be a clip, by the way. I hope you know that. That's 1,000. You won't be seen or anything, but that's 1,000% going to be a clip because I've never articulated it in that way. But that's definitely how it works. But that's not what people do. What do? They beeline to the bar because they got a drink to get to that state because they don't understand what I just told you. They're also, and this is the trap in bar settings or club settings, that fucking TV. A lot of people feel uncomfortable, so they walk to the bar to look at the TV. The moment you do that, the moment you look at the TV or your phone, you're cooked. You're cooked because you take yourself out of the environment. You got to be within flow. You got to be within the energy of the space. You're trying to escape the space mentally by looking at your phone or the television. It takes you out of a state of flow.
So now, that one is, how about the gym? Because I go to the gym often and I feel like, get some looks here and there, but it's like
Same play.
same play. But then, I mean, that one's very awkward because you might see them again. Like the nightlife, I might not see that person again. But I mean, gym is like
The same as that strategy. Win the venue, not the person. Become the person at the gym who will talk to the staff. Don't just check in and then walk past them.
Okay.
Like, talk to them for a bit. When you see that, like, this same mechanism of feeling safe in the environment also activates the more people you know in that environment. Like, if you go out with your friends, you don't really need the drink, right?
Nah, it's
You
a
don't-
little bit easier.
Right,
I
'cause
know I got somebody.
Your friends are making you feel safe, right?
Yeah.
So when you go into this environment like the gym, the first play, let me get to know people here. So every time I come here, I'm already in that safe mindset. The gym is going to be more of a long game. The more of a static environment it is, meaning if it's an environment where you're seeing the same people over and over again, the more you need to play the long game. Where it's called social circle game. So you just meeting people. You're just the guy that every time they see you, they feel positive emotions because you're always playful and things of that nature, right? And you just become one of those guys in the gym. I mean, I got dating experience in the gym. That's exactly how I played it. What I would do is I would identify the super connectors. Super connectors are just people who know a lot of people. So there's probably people in your gym who are very extroverted who just talk to a lot of people. Befriend them first. Because in the process of befriending them, it opens the door to their entire network. So there was a guy in my gym who I befriended. And while I would talk to him in the gym, people would come up to him and talk to him. And then an organic introduction will occur. So now I know this person too. Right?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's more of a long game. I'm giving you game, bro. You're not going to find it anywhere else. This is how you play it. This is exactly how you play it. You play it this way, you won't have no problems. I promise you.
Yeah, okay, that's bad. I'm going to Houston this weekend, so I'm gonna use that to my advantage and start talking to people just here and there, so I can start being better at
Right.
going up.
You gotta do it fast though, man. The moment you start getting in your head, it's over with. But this should make it easier for you. Yeah, this should make it easier for you because you're not asking them for anything.
Yeah.
It's easier to have a more playful, platonic conversation than it is to try to hit on somebody. You put so much pressure on the interaction.
Yeah,
Right?
for real, I agree.
So
if I'm not doing it, I'll be just talking to someone. It's it flow easy. I
Right.
was talking to a girl and I didn't even want her number. We were just chatting it up.
Exactly.
Talking for
Do
30
that.
minutes.
Do that. If you know girl B is the one that you really want, go talk to girl A first. Just have a pleasant conversation with shorty.
Yeah. for
And
sure.
then go to girl B because now you're on. Now you feel safe. Now it's easier to flow conversationally. I'm telling you, bro. You do this. If you do what I'm saying and you actually experience the truth of what I'm saying, you won't have no more issues.
All right, I got you 2 weeks again, man.
All right. I'm be looking for you now, all right?
For sure.
All right, bro.
All right, let's see.
Uh-huh. Big signal. I be telling y'all I do this shit for real. I does this for real. This ain't no reading books and learning shit. This is real life. We got this shit out the mud. Hold on. What's this? Okay. Wednesday. Nice. All right. Never dated a man who's going to hang out in Houston. Why? I see why you're a men's coach. I not date, but I coach women too. I coach women too. I started off just coaching men though, and then women held me at gunpoint. Coach SRL. Okay. Shit. What do you need? And they did that on this live, so that now I coach women too. You never heard about what happened in Houston? I just know there's a bunch of cakes. A lot of Betty Crockers in Houston. So educate me, Sabrina. What happens in Houston? Once you understand these things, it does make it better to navigate. Yeah, I was going to be a social skills coach first. Before I became a dating coach, I was like, I should teach people about social skills. You got to talk to locals in Houston. They would tell you. Oh, why are you trying to hold back on me? Like, tell me. I feel like you know. You got some information. I need to see if that's a place I need to go or not. Depends on where in Houston he hangs out. Nothing wrong with Houston. See, we got a lot of mixed reviews in the chat about Houston. I need someone to clarify for me. See, Umni just shot it straight. Because in a way, it's a social game. Yeah, social skills are everything, man. It's everything. It's the biggest competitive advantage besides looks. Dallas do the same thing. And we talking about fucking, that's going to be everywhere in America. Everywhere. People get down. Oh, they did have the Houston spring break. Did that like leave a mark? I feel like if your man is outside too much in any city, it's a problem. I would agree with that. Women from Texas just born different. I've seen that. They got the Omni build. Yeah. Miles, we trying to move the Dallas meetup to Houston? That's what y'all trying to do? I'm just trying to be like Jane Goodall. I just want to see what happens. I'm not trying to involve myself for sure. Dallas, on the other hand, is amazing. That's where I'll be living. I got you. Omni was built in Kenya. What are your credentials? I got them from my Heavenly Father. This is anointing you see, love. This ain't no book knowledge. All right. Anyone else have questions? You can hit the button at the bottom of the screen with the blue and pink person, and I'll bring you up and we'll solve your issue. I will bring you up and solve your issue. Let's see. Mary.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on?
Okay, so I really don't want to like call in about this because chat's gonna ring me.
Uh-oh.
But just gotta stay strong because it's really been bothering me. So I'm trying to figure out if this is like a me problem and if it is, kind of how to cope with it.
Okay.
Because I do kind of think it might be like just my anxious insecurity stuff coming out. But so still dealing with that same guy that I've been dating since we started talking about him. It's going really, really well. The only thing is he's just so friendly. He's such a friendly guy and outgoing. And I mean, he'll talk to anyone. It doesn't matter gender, age, appearance, whatever. But I think it gets to me when it's like attractive women my age. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it never crosses boundaries or anything like that. It's not flirtatious, but I'll give you an example, and this is where I think it might be a me problem. Like we were at a bonfire the other night. It was like a bunch of people we didn't know, and then obviously some people we did know. And I was sitting with him and his friends, and a younger, attractive lady came and sat down, and the guy I'm dating doesn't know her, and he felt like the only one saying a joke to her when she sat down. You know what I mean? And sometimes I'm just like, so it'll just be simple stuff like that, and then it stops after that. But I'm just like, well, you don't know her. She's young and attractive. Why are you the one that needs to go out of your way to like make her feel included or give her a little like attention in a joking, banterly manner? You know what I mean?
Right. So you're asking if this is a you issue or a him issue?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention, because I also don't know if it's just like toxic advice, but you hear all the girls on social media just being like, my man won't talk to anyone. My man only talks to, if you know what I mean. And just having this whole thing that like, don't pay attention to another girl in public. Like one you don't know, one that's not part of the friend group or like whatever, Right.
This is where context is important, because you said something very key, which is that he's social with everyone.
Yes.
If you were in a situation to where like he was just talking to attractive women, okay, that's a problem. But if he's just talking to everyone, this is going to be more of a reflection of insecurity on your end.
And that's what I think, because it's literally everybody. Like anytime we go sit at a bar, like just last week we were sitting at a bar, old man in his 60s, he's got to talk to him. He's got to talk to the guy bartender. We're all shooting the shit. And then, like, you know, one day we went to a bar and there was a girl, I mean, you know, she got to be in her 50s and no disrespect, but not very attractive. And she has a satchel on and he's like, oh, it's your birthday. Like, I mean, just talks to everybody. But I think it's when it's those, like, an attractive girl, I'm just like, are you trying to flirt? Give her attention? Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Remember, you have to take like the biblical approach of renewing your mind, right? So those are opportunities to remind yourself of the truth. Like, you know how you're wired. You're going to naturally have those thoughts. It's what you do next, which is more important. Do you entertain those thoughts? Do you allow them to grow? Remember, I told you.
Like, in my head, I don't push it out on him or display it in public because I do think it's
But in your
evil.
head, you have to cut it off, right? Like that story that I told you about, like I think it's in King Herod in the Bible, when Jesus was born, and he knew of the Messiah, he tried to kill every baby, every child under the age of 2. So even that's very gruesome. But the point is, he knew that if he let the Messiah grow up, it would be a problem. So he's like, it's easier to kill as an infant. So your thoughts are the same way. You can't allow them to grow up. You have to kill them while they are an infant, right? The way that you do that is the moment you notice yourself having that thought, you replace it with what you know to be the truth, right? So it was Moses too. It was also the Messiah. So what you want to do is immediately when that thought occurs, you want to replace it with the truth, because entertaining it is what nurtures the infant thought into full-fledged adulthood. And you've known this in practice. The more you think about it, the more you consider it, then the anxiety starts because you've been thinking about it for so long. And then it gets to a point to where, like, it might as well be true because it's impacting your body and your emotions so much.
Right. It just feeds off of it. Yeah.
Exactly.
So you're saying when I get these thoughts, like, literally just, like, shut them down? Like, just...
Absolutely.
No. Okay.
Absolutely.
And I guess one last question. I know, like, we're not supposed to read the comments. I'm pretty good about not reading them, but one just stood out to me because this is the advice where I don't know if it's toxic. Like, some girls said in the comments, like, well, if he's your man, he should make you feel safe. And if him talking to other girls makes you feel that way, he shouldn't do it, essentially. Is that, like, toxic advice?
It is, because it's an external locus of control.
Okay.
So a lot of the time, what triggers you is probably something within you that needs to be healed. And people who live life that way, ultimately, you cannot control another person. What you can control is yourself. That's why the best advice is to focus on what you can control. And all that you really can control is yourself. But people do the opposite. They don't control shit about themselves, and they try to control everything outside of them. And they're perpetually frustrated because they can't control that shit. All they can control is what goes on in here. So that's where you have to focus your attention. Now, if someone's just being flat out disrespectful, right, you can set a boundary and stuff like that. And if they don't respect that, you can remove yourself from that situation. But no. Maz, can we block this annoying chick right here? She wants a lot of attention and she's jealous that there's so many people on this live. Her name is Savona. Let's go ahead and get her blocked, please. She's annoying. But that's how you want to approach this, right?
Okay.
You want to be like, okay, is there something in me that needs to be healed? And then you go ahead and do that work.
Okay. Yeah, and I like that reassurance and that advice because that's what I was thinking. It's never disrespectful. It doesn't cry. It's just friendly, but, you know, it gets at me when it's specific people. But, okay. I work on shutting down the thought, and I appreciate it.
All right. Keep me posted now.
I will. All right. Bye.
All right. Bye. CJ, you got Shorty blocked fast. If people be begging for, like, using negativity to beg for attention, you're just gonna get blocked. Okay. Does he include you in those interactions? No, I've coached Mary. She's done a great job because Mary used to be a nervous wreck. But she's made I think there's like 2 people who've grown the most that I know of. And that's Eva. Eva has grown more than anybody else in terms of where she started. And then I would say Mary is a distant second. Because Eva was really on it. I think CJ blocked her first, right? Well, whoever blocked her, it was like a group effort. It was like a group effort. Sabrina, me and you got to follow up. We got to follow up. I got to see if like the conversation led to behavioral change and identity change, not just like intellectual change. Can we ask questions for advice here? You can hit the button at the bottom of the screen with the blue and pink person. I'll bring you up. Hello. She didn't mean to come up. What else do we have? Let's see if MJ connects. She was probably listening to it like a podcast. Yeah, when people come up by accident, that's normally what they do. But y'all can drop y'all questions in the chat when I don't have an active caller. I'll answer it there. It's best to call in though, because that's when I can give y'all the most value. The most value. Okay, I don't think MJ is going to connect. I don't know if Sharice meant to call in. We'll see. No, she didn't. Okay. How should you interact with a crush? I feel lost. Do you interact at all? Yeah, remember, it's not your role to make things happen, right? You just signal availability. And you can do that by conversation. But if you're conversing with the person, or a man per se, and he doesn't take it further, I would just assume disinterest. How much solitude after heartbreak is too much? I think it's not about time, it's about what is animating you. Like, what is your goal? So there's a lot of people who stay single for a long time and it's like, I don't want to get hurt. Okay, well then having that perspective is going to keep you stuck. Yes, through text, and when we meet at the gym, we hung out once too. When you hung out, was it a date? And who initiated that hangout? Was it you or him? This might be worthy of a call, so let me know if you want to call in. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello.
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 All right. I couldn't do more of the hello back and forth. Was she outside raking leaves? Like I heard a rake in the background. Hell, she located. Alyssa, hit the button at the bottom of the screen with the blue and pink person, and then I'll bring you up. And we can talk about it. We can talk about it. Hello.
Hi.
Hey there.
Can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great, love. All right, now talk to me. What's going on in your situation?
Okay, so I met this guy. It was through our kids. My son was invited to his son's birthday party. And we met there. We were, flirting a little bit back and forth, but of course appropriate. We're at a party.
All right.
And then our kids were invited to a mutual friend's birthday party the following weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, we were same thing, flirting a little bit back and forth. And then he told me thank you for coming to that party afterwards. So I don't know why he was telling me thank you for coming to a party that it wasn't even his party,
Right.
but he told me thank you.
Okay.
So, and we text a little bit back and forth after that. A few weeks later, I text him about, he told me that he boxes, and I text him about going to which gym he boxed at. It had absolutely nothing to do with even interacting with him, but it was just me trying to get information about a gym. So long story short, he, gave me all of the information, told me his schedule, and then told me he would go with me. So we, eventually meet up. We go to the gym, have a session, whatever. But in between time, he would text me back and forth about, did I enjoy it? How was it? Sore, whatever. And then he would go on to text me later, just about almost every day for a week straight, letting me know when he was coming, when he would be there, if I was coming with him, having sessions together and whatnot. And then, he would text me right afterwards asking if I was sore, how did I feel? And then he would give me a little report about himself too. So maybe like a week or so goes by, I hear nothing from him. And then he hits me up and he's like, did you watch the soccer game? And I'm like, no. I'm not interested in a soccer game. I said, no, unfortunately, I missed it. How was it? He told me where he was. And then he told me where he was watching it. And then he said that he wasn't sure if he was going to stay at that particular place and have another drink, or if he was going to go swimming. So I said, well, I'm about to go for a walk, and you're more than welcome to come with me. Afterwards, after I text him that, he says he wasn't sure what he was about to do. And then he said someone was giving out free beers at the bar. So I said, are you trying to distract me from my walk with alcohol? And he's like, yes. And I said, well, it's working. So then I meet him at the bar. I'm like, I'm sorry, I got distracted. I said, yes, I'll meet you there in just a few minutes, because it wasn't too far from my home. After we get there, we sat there at the bar for about 2 hours, just chit-chatting, laughing, banter back and forth, teasing each other. He's teasing me about being from Philly and liking the Eagles. Meanwhile, he likes the Giants. I mean, we were just going back and forth about that. And then he could tell me like the stories of all the people at the bar. I mean, he's nosy, gossiping about people you don't even know.
Right.
So we eventually, wrap that up. We're standing outside of the restaurant, and I'm still chatty. I think I was a little tipsy at the time, but I think he was too. And he goes, so would you like to come over? Because you're talking a lot. And I told him no, because this was the first time, this is the first time, we've, really hung out outside of, the gym and stuff. So after that, he sends me a text afterwards and was like, hey, I'm at the pool. I said, well, I'll catch you next time. And then I haven't really heard much from him since then. And then I texted him, I think on Tuesday, and I said, hey, I was just thinking about you. I hope your day's going well. He then texted me, a little bit back and forth, day's going fine, pretty busy. And then he asked me, how was my day? I told him, and that was pretty much it. Then he sent me a clip that the owner of the gym where we both go, he sent me a clip from Facebook, because I don't have Facebook or Instagram. And I said, ew, but thank you so much for sending me that. And there was nothing else from there, and it's been since Wednesday.
Okay. It's been since Wednesday. All right. How old are you two?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
How old are you two?
We're both 36.
And he talked about relationships or past relationships, anything like that?
No. I've mentioned that I've been married before, but he hasn't really said too much of anything.
I mean, there ain't really nothing you can do in this situation, love. Either he wants it, even you saying was thinking of you. That's even the most clueless guy would know that. How much time has passed?
It's only been about 4-ish weeks.
Yeah. Because you said when y'all first met, it was already kind of flirtatious, right?
Yes.
Flirtatious how?
So he would tease me, again, from being being from Philly.
Right.
And then he would talk about, cheesesteaks and how they're not all that they hyped up to be. And then I was like, well, you're from New York. What do you know? And then, we would kind of like, he would say something about, well, that's why, at least we know about, like good food and things like it was just little tiny things that he would say, just teasing each other back and forth.
Gotcha. Fellas, this is why I always say playfully tease. Right? A lot of guys don't know how to flirt at all, but you see how she was saying that playfully tease was like flirtatious? Okay, so I mean, there's really nothing else you can do in this situation because it's clear that y'all vibe, y'all have some degree of chemistry. You've seen each other multiple times. He's literally invited you out, just not under the pretense of a date. It's on him. Either he doesn't have the desire or he's not emotionally available enough to pursue right now. But it's not an issue with you not being clear. You know? He's 36. He understands. If he's 36 and he's able to flirt with you in a way that he flirted with you, he knows that you like him. So then the question is, why hasn't he acted on it? We don't know.
No, I don't.
And there's been like more than enough time to act on it. So I wouldn't say like end this. I would say, because there's nothing to end, to be frank, but I wouldn't be waiting around for him to initiate on his end because he hasn't done so for real. If he does in the future, all right, entertain it. Maybe there may have been something he's healing from or an intentional reason why he's not taking initiative here. But I wouldn't wait around for him to, get his stuff together.
Okay.
I know it's not what you want to hear. I get it.
No, it's the truth though. So
Yeah, I know it's not what you want to hear, but like I don't want you waiting around for someone who may not, move in this way. So what I'm ultimately saying is don't shut off your dating life or close off the possibility to connect with other people or be waiting around for the phone to ring for something that may not happen. But in the future, if he does seem like he's pursuing, obviously, I mean, if you still want to, then you can explore that connection.
okay. Well, thank you so much for that.
No problem, dear. Keep me posting how it goes, all right?
All right, thank you.
You take care. Just brought her back to reality. She was already in reality. That wasn't a delusional woman who was like, no, he's flirting with her. That's what he's doing. It's confusing. She's just wondering why, like, things aren't progressing past that. We've seen delusion. Even remember Shorty, I don't know if he was on this live, but Shorty who was going to the gym and she was trying to mind read people. Well, I know this guy likes me because when I come in, he looks at that one, and then the one across the room looks at the girl, and then she looks up, and then the janitor in the corner smiles. So I know that he's signaling to that guy that I'm here and I like him. I was like, where are you getting all of this from? Where did all that come from? That was one of the craziest calls ever. Yeah, everybody it was she was in the gym somewhere. Whatever class she was taking, everybody was just jealous of her. She's like, they're all jealous because he likes me. I was like, are you trolling or are you just batshit crazy? I hope you're trolling. That was months ago, Lisa. That was before you even came in this live. That was months ago. That was a car live, too. I think I was in a car going live. I was like, whoa, you're too far gone. You just said, I know it's fire, though. You should go figure it out. You should get you a group of guys, look at one, have the other one tap his shoulder, which signals to the other one. Have a dog run across the street. Just plan that out in her presence. And that's how she's going to know that you like her. Gotta be like Ocean's 11 in this bitch. You gotta really plan it out. It's like a heist. That's how you gotta convey to her that you like her. Yeah, Hannah said. Mark said, "Did someone say that?" And she says, "No, I read people very well." It's like, no, that's not how that works. If you read people so well, what do you think I'm thinking right now? Read me. What do I think about this situation? Because you act like you're Charles Xavier. I don't think you got the S gene like that. All right. Hello.
Requested by accident.
Okay, I got you. I'll take you down. Thank you for telling me that, though, instead of like freezing like other people do. If I don't move, the chat won't see me. It's like, CJ, chill out, man. What's gotten into you lately? Why are you trying to... You lean into like the shock factor. CJ trying to say some of y'all using the roles while y'all watch this live. That's the accusation that he's making. So y'all got to handle that. The CJ in heat. He might be. He might be. Do your thing, Sydney. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. Again, if you have a question pertaining to dating or relationships, you can hit the button at the bottom of the screen with the blue and pink person and request up. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Jackie from Uganda. Hi.
Hi. What can I do for you? What can I do for you? You see how she tried to speed run that? She tried to beat the mods to the punch. Still didn't have a question though. You optimized the wrong end. The issue is not you talking fast. It's that you don't have a question to ask. Maybe if I talk faster, I can find a Mac. He'll find me a Mac. No, it's not how that works. It's not how that works. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm good. What can I do for you?
But I'm not sure if you'll be able to answer my question, but it's according to your personal experience if you're familiar with African tradition. But I have a situation.
Okay.
I am involved in a relationship with a Black American, and I'm from Zambia. So I know that the relationship culture is a bit different. Mm-hmm. And currently, I'm not sure if I should say that I'm engaged, because here, once you say that you are engaged, you already have permission from your parents, and there's that negotiation of bridal price. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. Mm-hmm. So my question is, I wanted to understand how engagement is taken in America, because one of my friends was telling me that you need to be careful, because in America you can be engaged for more than 2 years and not get married, because here you have to get married within 12 months. Is that true?
So you're engaged with this American guy?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, yeah, just ask the timeline. Like, how long ago did you get engaged to him?
Since February.
Since February. Has he talked about when he was going to marry you?
That's the thing. So I'm kind of confused, because I think
I'm not sure if I'm pushing it.
Let's backtrack.
Or-
So, how did you meet him?
He was traveling here in Uganda. We met in Uganda.
Okay. What was he traveling there for?
I think just tourism.
Okay. How old is he?
He's 44.
Okay. He's 44.
Never been married, no kids.
Never married, no kids, 44. What do you like about him? What do you like about him?
Well, in the beginning, I think he was a good listener, and he would travel to my country like every year on my birthday. But recently, I feel like I'm changing how I feel after we got engaged. I think there's more pressure because he's got a new apartment and is trying to apply for the fiancé visa and stuff. So I'm not sure if I'm making an excuse for him so far, but I feel like the engagement was more like it wasn't planned. I don't like the way. I'm not sure if I'm answering your question, but let me just. I think maybe I should just speak, but I don't like the way the engagement was done. First of all, I don't think it was planned or thought through properly. I just think it feels like I know how to say it in my language. I don't know what you call it in English, but I could describe it like the engagement was more like I just want to show you that I'm serious, but there's no plan afterwards.
Right.
So I'm feeling a bit unplanned.
Right.
Like I wasn't. Because, like if I had to get married to this person, I'm literally giving up my whole life that I know here and joining him there. And there's this thing of what I wanted to understand from you as well. Is it that in America, is it more about 50-50? Like when it comes to expenses? Because here, I think we're more big on the guy taking over most things.
What does he do for a
So
living? Do you know what his job is?
Yeah, he's in logistics.
Okay. All right. I think they make good money depending on in what capacity they're involved. It depends on the person. Love. It's not like a pervasive cultural thing. Like some people get married very quickly over here. Other people have been engaged for 10 years. So it just depends on the person. I will say that him getting engaged to you in February and we're now at the end of July and you haven't heard, there's been no progress made, does not bode well for someone who is planning out, especially if he's in logistics.
Yes.
Because this is a logistical concern.
There's the time he told me he made an amount of money, right? But now he's saying it's going lower. So I think it's more like I can't do some things for you right now. I don't know if it's true, if he was lying before about how much he got. For example, he says, I'm not going to say the exact amount, but he said he made like $6,000 and now it's $3,000.
$6,000 per month?
Yeah, I think it's per month in 4 weeks.
Well,
because I know that the earning schedule is there and here is different.
Your 50-50 is in your future. If he's making $6,000 per month.
That's what he said in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. No, this is a 50-50. It's a 50-50 situation.
Yeah,
so,
I figured.
Yeah.
Just hit it with me. Don't try to hide it. I'm just trying to understand because I don't know what the culture is like. So I really feel like there's a culture crash here because I'm feeling like after the engagement, there's a lot of question marks.
Yeah, you just got to seek more clarity from him. So I would have a conversation like, okay, like ask him these questions. Like, ideally, you want to know that kind of stuff before you even get engaged. Like, okay, what will marriage be like with this person, and like how do they think about sharing finances, things of that nature. And then after getting engaged, it's okay, what's the timeline here as far as getting married? I will say that there's a red flag. I mean, it's an amber flag, him being his age. How long have y'all known each other?
From 2017. We're just friends before and then we just started dating recently.
Like how recently?
How recent what?
How recently did y'all start dating?
2026, I think 2025.
Okay, so you're into dating. And
I think this is our second year.
how did y'all meet originally? I know he was on vacation there, but how did this transition from friendship to romantic?
So his mom was a lecturer at my university in Uganda.
Uh-huh.
So he came just to visit and then he left. So we're not seeing each other then, but because of Facebook, then you reconnect on Medium.
Okay. I think you just primarily need more clarity. So you should have a conversation with him about these things. If he seems like he doesn't have a plan, then I would say that is a sign to exit the situation.
Yeah, someone said it's a shut up ring in the comments.
Someone said what?
Someone said it's a shut up engagement ring.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, getting a little bit more clarity on this situation will empower you to make the right decision. But right now you're flying blind because you don't really know.
I feel blind.
Right, you don't know what's
scary.
You don't know what's in his head. So we got to figure out what's in his head, and you do that by having a conversation with him about these same things you're conversing with me about. So you can even open it by discussing the cultural differences and trying to understand what's in his head.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right, keep me posted, okay?
I'll try.
All right, dear. You take care.
All right, thank you.
She seemed very pleasant. I may gotta go over there and put a ring on it. Huh? No, but don't see that one working out, to be honest with you. We'll see. We will see. Is it crazy that I'd rather see if I vibe with the person than text for weeks? Right. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. I tell guys to get the date active like very quickly within the first week. You'll be surprised how many women are very skittish and they want to talk to you to death before they see you in person. I have no patience for it. Zero patience for it. Ken, you over there applying pressure? Good stuff, bro. She really responds to that, by the way. That's why a lot of guys can't lock her down. They don't apply enough pressure. So you got to apply as much as humanly possible without, crossing that threshold. Is there any way I can talk to you, Coach? You can DM me the word coach if you like coaching, but I'm not taking any more calls today. Not taking. See what CJ said, Ken? He said you in there. So just gotta keep applying that pressure, man. Let's keep at it. She gets mean. Her being mean and shutting you down is her version of flirting. So you just gotta stay at it. Stay with it. You're tired of the stories. I'm not tired of the stories, no. I just got calls coming up damn near immediately. And I gotta take a little breather before I hit those. Because in the coaching calls, we go a lot deeper. It requires a lot more of me. On this live, we solve, I say there's 4 layers to the problem, right? On this live, we handle the top 2. Most coaches handle just the top 1. I handle the top 2. Coaching calls, all 4. So if you want the 1-hour coaching call so you can get clarity over your situation and step-by-step action plan, DM me the word coach. And I will send you a link to book your call. Why aren't you married? I haven't found the one yet. Can't really force that, you know? Can't force that. What's up, Alexis? Heard y'all were looking for me last night. When? I don't recall anyone even saying the word Bobby, to be honest with you. So who told you that? I think you've been misinformed, actually. How old am I? Just turned 36. We look for you every day. They lying to you, Bobby. Cece might. You know, she's in heat. So who was she not looking for, you know? What makes it an amber flag if a man is 47, never been married, never had children? Because it implies that he didn't really take it seriously. You got to kind of judge things by a case basis, to be honest with you. There's a lot of, I'll give you an example. For a lot of men, a woman making it past 30 single, they take that as a red flag. Just telling you how they perceive it, don't shoot the messenger. But I will tell you this, there are a lot of women who've been in that exact situation because they were in a long-term relationship with someone for all of their 20s and it didn't work out. Either he didn't want to marry her or it just didn't work out for another reason, which then positions them to be single in their 30s. That's just one way how it can manifest, you know? So in that situation, there's no issue with that woman. But then there are other women who've sabotaged relationship after relationship after relationship after relationship, right? Yeah, that's going to be kind of a red flag because she might sabotage yours, you know? And me, I got back single at 32. Relationship all my 20s. Took 2 years to heal. Now we're at 34. All right? So it's a lot of context you need. Where she was in medical, law school, residency. Yeah. I had a client who was in that situation. She was just kind of focused on her career. Required a lot of her. And she didn't really date at all. So you gotta look at it from a case-by-case basis. But to be 47, no children, never been married. I'm not saying that can't be a good person to be with, but what I would think is that if he is, there was a major worldview shift that occurred. And I would like to know what that worldview shift is. I just always want to make sense of things. When I'm talking to people, it's like, what makes sense? And when I hear something that doesn't make sense, something's off. That means something is off. So for example, let's say you're talking to a woman or a man who's never been in a relationship, but they're 32. And you're like, why have you been single for so long? I just never found no one I liked. Something's off. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Something's off there. And I would say to avoid that person because they don't even know what's off. What if you're working on yourself? Working on yourself just doesn't take that long, man, to be honest with you. And that's like lifelong. That's a lifelong engagement. You should never stop working on yourself. But a lot of people use that working on themselves as healing or healing as an avoidance strategy. So they're using that to avoid intimacy. It's just a convenient excuse that people tend not to push back on because it sounds healthy. That's why I say context is very important. Yeah, some people have been hurt so bad they refuse to get hurt again. It's protection. Right. Avoid them. Somebody to avoid. Because there's someone that will leave you very quickly. Or maybe not even commit to you in the first place. You just can't be with a person like that, man. You just can't. As much as you would want to, they're going to sabotage it. They're just going to sabotage it. Because there is no love without risk. Like, it's inherently risky. So you have to be you have to have a willingness to be hurt to even have a relationship to begin with. There are no sure bets. Anything could happen. Even if you found the magical perfect person, they could get hit by a car tomorrow. You know, there is like, that's not life. Life doesn't work that way. So you just need to be a bit more discerning. You know, what time is it? 2:04. I gotta run. If you're new here, make sure to follow. I'll be live again tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time. If you want to watch the replays of these lives, I stream them on YouTube. Link in bio for that. It's at The Signal Dating. Check me out. If you want a coaching call where we go deeper, give you more value than what you can get on these lives, DM me the word coach. I'll send you a link. Appreciate the mods. Appreciate this chat. I will see you all tonight. Y'all take care.